it's wonderful to meet you. I love your backstory. I love what's going on. Thank you for taking a minute out today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today. It's really a privilege. Thank you.
You bet. So let's begin our journey into your world by asking you this. 5 years ago, this pandemic changed everything, did so
Yeah.
many things. How did you survive the pandemic of 2020, and how has it influenced the way that you live now in 2025?
Well, I'll be honest, the way that I survived the pandemic was just keeping myself as busy as I can.
Yeah.
I think that the mental pain of going through that isolation was another part of a story that a lot of people don't talk about, rather than the actual virus itself that was affecting a lot of people. And I think when it came to surviving it, number one, it was my family being around me and everything, but also them really pushing me into like now taking advantage of new opportunities.
Yeah.
So I really decided to take a lot of chances during that time when nothing was going on. And what I did was, I was like, I want to get into real estate. That was my main thing. But every real estate office is shut down, it's all closed.
Yeah.
So what I did was I emailed every real estate agent in my area and I said, I will work for you for free for 3 months. I just want to sit and see if this is for me. And long story short, one broker got back to me and now he ended up being actually one of my closest friends, like even today, even 5 years now. So that's how it all started. And from where I am today, I really took that whole time within the 5 years to build up everything that includes the book, my real estate business, some other different businesses, going to university, and I really took every single like advantage to one point that was just building myself into being my full potential self, which is what the book is really about.
So let's get into exactly what you do. There's a diversification of your portfolio of what you do. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day, and the kid in the back of the room is like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer him?
I say, you know what I say? I say I do as much as I can. So I would tell them that my main thing is I'm mostly in like the real estate business and my family's business. And right now, I mean, being an author, that's kind of taking over all those professions right now. So I also do two other things. So I also run a different business. I also do debt settlements for people now. So that's a whole different business that I'm starting. And if someone were to ask me, the first thing I would say is that I'm now an author,
Yeah.
because of where it is today. But before, I would definitely say that I was more into like the real estate business.
What did you want to be at 12 years old? What was your dream job?
My dream job when I was 12, I'll be honest, I was so lost when I was 12 years old. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I thought that, especially with my genetic disease and fighting it, I wasn't going to be able to ever do anything. I really didn't think I personally thought I'd always live off like Social Security or like, government benefits because of all the pain that was going on. But my biggest dream was that I always wanted to be a cook whenever I grew up, like a chef for like a restaurant or something. And then once I got to like 16, 17, that's where I really start to adjust like where I want to go within like my life.
So what was it about growing up? What were the early seeds that were planted that made you be a go-getter, to go after real estate, to do these things, to overcome, to succeed, kind of the backbone of your memoir?
Yeah, so I come from a family of business owners, like small business owners. Like we own like a family childcare and like a jewelry business. So I've always seen like my parents always like taking advantage of any opportunity that came right in front of them. And then next thing you know, outside of like my mom and dad and my brother, I was now surrounded with people that were now in the real estate brokerage who were obviously they were all self-employed, they were their own bosses, and they were going and getting, all these different jobs and making all this money. And I was like, this is, I think, the right way that people, not the right way, but a, a way that I think I want to live my life is that I want to earn money by my hard work, not by me sitting and not really having to do too much work or anything. I really want to be a go-getter because I was so surrounded by it and I saw how much growth it like people that are go-getters are whenever it comes to like how much time and effort they put into it, and that really motivated me to go out and do not just as much as I can, but the best I can do at whatever I do.
So who's been that inspiration for you to get over this genetic issue that you've had, to write this book, to be a go-getter, to succeed? Who has been that inspirational force for you?
I when Since I was a kid, I've been very close to my faith. So even throughout the pain of what I was going through with my genetic disease, I always felt like, that Jesus was always right next to me no matter what. And for a while, I always, instead of telling Jesus, thank you for everything that you gave me, I actually yelled at him saying, why did you give me such a terrible disease? Why did you have to give me something that's making me feel more behind in life? And after growing up, different experiences that I believe that Jesus gave to me, and Jesus opened up different roads for me, I actually got to a point where I thanked God for giving me this disease. And I remember someone told me, they were like, why would you thank God for giving you this rare genetic disease? Why would you thank Jesus for giving you this rare genetic disease? I said, it's because he gave it to me to build me into a stronger person. And now I can use my story to go help others that I know are in their own silent battles. So I think that was my biggest inspiration.
So let me ask you this, as an entrepreneur, as a go-getter, if you can meet one person alive today that inspires you in that realm, who would you love to meet that might help you on your journey?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think if I could talk, which I still believe that it would be Jesus that I could talk face to face to. But I know every day I can say that, but I still do talk to him. But if it were to be like a business figure that I can talk to today, I was always inspired by the I read the book I think his name was like Mark Banoff, I think was his or something like it was but Salesforce.
Yeah.
The owner I read his book and it was a memoir about how he started Salesforce from the ground up and everything. And he went through so many obstacles and so many ups and downs. And even at the worst of the worst, I notice a lot of big company owners, even at the point of bankruptcy, it does not stop them from going. He is one person that, that 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 I would want to sit down and be like, wow, number one, I'm very inspired by your story, but number two, how can I turn my businesses into something bigger and also not be so not just afraid but so anxious about any attacks that are going to be coming my way.
What motivates you to get up every day, to take care of your soul, to take care of your business, to do all of this? Is there a balance? How does all this work for you?
There was this quote that I went by that I remember I was talking to someone from a church when I was a kid, and they ended up actually helping me start a new project. And they said to me, they said, "Be the type of person when your feet step in the morning that the devil says, 'Oh shit, they're up.'" Be be that type of person where you know that there's something bad out there, but instead of being afraid, become something to fear. Become like something to be afraid. Like have them be more afraid of you than being afraid of them.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight and ran into a much younger version of you, say 18 years old, ready to go out into the world, if you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've led, the wisdom you've gained, what advice would you give?
I would say the biggest advice, I think the most simple advice I would give my younger self would be that everything's going to be okay. Being 18, 17, younger, I always felt like, that the world was always falling apart, that there was nothing good that's going to be coming, that I believe there was a point in me when I felt like as a kid, like even the smallest things outside of these genetic disease attacks and everything, that something would be after me or that it wouldn't work out. I would tell him like just go for it, just go for it. And you know what, whatever is gonna come and try to attack you, just face it and just see it as like a bump that you need to get over and then keep going. That's it. End of the day, you're gonna be running this race for the rest of your life, and you're gonna make it to that finish line at the day of your death, but at least be proud once you're at that finish line. That's it.
So let me ask you this. The thing about being an entrepreneur is risk. There's a level of risk that you take
Mhm.
overall. What's the biggest risk that you've taken in your life so far?
I'd say financial the biggest risk I took really when it comes to like building a business and like getting to like the real estate business was really starting out financially. Um I mean, there was a point because I'm still in university right now. So I really had two choices that I had during the time. It was around 2021. It was either I can use the money that I worked for to go for an investment on a business or to finish university. And I come from a Middle Eastern family, so my family they're very much they're really much on like the route to finish university and everything. And I was definitely someone that took a bit of a step back, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna use the money that that I earned from working to reinvest that money towards a risk that it may work out, it may not work out. I might lose it, I might not. I'll be honest, it doesn't matter if you're starting a business or not. There is a bit of a gamble that you're going to lose the money.
Yeah.
And I decided to take the risk, and I decided to go that route of starting a real estate business, this debt settlement service, and so on. And I think I made the best decision since then because I was able to still be in university and finish. And at the same time, I was able to build something right before I even finished. So it was definitely a risk that I had to kind of sit down and think about, but it was definitely something that I would never, change ever again.
So let me ask you this. Let's say you walk into a room of everybody that knows you in a business sense, and you go through the room and go to a podium and you can tell them one fun story. First concert you went to, jumping out of an airplane, an adventure you've been on, something fun that would humanize you to that group. What story would you tell that group of people?
Oh, I mean, I'd say there's a few. I mean, I've been through a lot of obstacles throughout these different businesses outside of my book. But if I'm being honest, it'd be a story about my book. So this book actually got banned in two countries. So we got like I remember I was talking to a few people. They got like a notice saying like some countries that's in the Middle East actually banned the book. And if I go, I'd get in trouble, I
Wow.
guess. So I'd say like that's definitely the craziest story is to have something like that happen. I mean, I'm very much, like the haters are definitely the people that definitely talk the most. But I never knew it was a country. So but other than that, like outside of that, I'd say, no matter what it is, whether it's different business or not, there's been different people that didn't like that I was just doing the work. I've had people message me saying that they hated the book. I've had people message that they were against the businesses. So I'd say a bunch of different stories, and all the stories have to relate to a small amount of people that are the loudest, which are the people that hate the most.
But any PR is good PR, right? I mean,
It is, yeah.
so what's the best letter? What's the best fan letter you've gotten or response you've gotten from your book?
I wouldn't say I think the most touching emails and stories I've gotten many emails now of, different people going through different situations in life. I've had people email me saying that they were going through divorces, bankruptcy, suicidal thoughts, their child. I've met some people who their child was going through a genetic disease and they believe that, the only way to get out of this pain was to commit suicide. And I want to say that it was something, that I wanted to read because it's kind of I hate seeing the pain that people go through, but I do think that this was the point of my book is because I want to help the people that were in silence. And I believe that I made those messages into something negative, into something positive where I knew that I could get them the help that they needed, and that's what made them into a good message. And I've also seen, like I've seen different people, maybe 10 emails saying that they didn't like the book, and then one person saying, "Hey, listen, I really enjoyed reading this book, and it really, it helped me kind of, deal with my own situation." That was my victory. That's what I say. In my life, my victory, that's my victory right there, is that I just helped one person actually see a little bit of light in their life.
So, of everything that you've done up to this point in your life, everything you've overcome and evolved to and achieved, what are you the proudest of?
What am I the proud of? Honestly, right now, I'd say I'm the proudest of where the book is leading to right now. Right now, where the book is going to, um, I tell myself this. I tell myself I'm not proud until I do this, until I do this, until I do this. So it's something that pushes me. But where the book is going right now, we're gonna start doing a movie and a documentary for it. And it's really gonna, bring more people to like see the story. And I really hope it can also touch a lot of people's hearts to find the help that they need and kind of like see help other people around them and just know that everyone's going through like their own silent battles. So I'm very proud to see how far the book has come, where it's been going to a lot of countries around the world. And I'm most proud of the people that's been emailing me back and forth about different situations that they're going through in life and how much more that they've been growing since they've been kind of facing their challenges.
So, at the end of the day, the man behind the book and the story, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, everyone that knows you in a business sense, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I'm a person before. leaving this earth can make a big change. I definitely I saw life being where I just hated how such a big amount of good was such a low thing on this earth to the amount of small bad that's been happening. I believe that a small amount of bad was making more of an impact than such a good amount of good.
Yeah.
And I really believe that, if I don't take advantage of, my life and trying to help someone on this earth or most people on this earth, I believe I'm just wasting my time then. I really believe that, that is the point of me being on this earth is to be God's toughest soldiers. And by doing that, I don't believe any sort of money or big house or something will give me purpose. I believe that my purpose is to actually bring like as much good as I believe that I can do to this earth.
So, My Life, My Victory is the book. If anyone wants to get a copy, they want to follow your progress in film, any of the other entrepreneurial journeys that you're on, the good business, where do they go?
So I have a link, it's shantcimenian.com. They can see the link on there for the Amazon page and our film page. So we're always posting updates on our Instagram for the film, so they can also see it right on our website.
Wow, this has been great, man. What a great story. Thank you so much for opening up. Best of luck with everything. I can't wait to see the film.
Thank you so much. It was great meeting you. We'll be in touch. I'll send you some emails of some updates. And again, thank you so much for having me today.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Looking to get new clients to your business through cold calling or email marketing? At Agency Y, they envision a world in which small and big companies have equal chances to win new customers in the market. Their purpose is to bring parity and reduce the gap between large and small firms with the help of their cold calling and cold email marketing services. Use the code Joe Dimino 10 at www.agencyyyy.org/coldcallingjoe.php or www.agencyyyy.org/emailmarketingjoe.php to get 10% off your first order. This is Joe Dimino of Neon Jazz and Famous Interviews, and I stand behind Agency Y to meet your business dreams.